Hi! Welcome to Create Utopia, in which hosts Chicory and Zero muse over many issues in the style of so many modern millennials, all around the peaceful, flickering light of video games! We hope you enjoy it! Now on with the show!
Dun 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 dun.
What are we playing today, Zero?
Today we are playing Long Live the Queen, and we're going to be playing Animal Lover Elodie because
Because we are talking about Cecil the lion. Poor old Cecil. He was so cool. He was such a good-looking lion. You just look at him and you're like, Mufasa, Mufasa.
Chicory, I have to confess something.
What?
Before Cecil the Lion hit the news, I had no idea who Cecil the Lion was.
You know, I have to say the same. No, I fucking did. I did know who he was because I saw a picture of him, I think, on like another website, and his face was all tore up, and he's like, oh, and he's like staring at the camera, and he's like, oh, I'm like an old king lion. I'm so fucking majestic. Ugh. And I was like, that is a majestic ass fucking lion. Holy crap. And I think I saved it to my iPad. There you go.
We need to get you a swear jar.
It's not that. I went today to a picking area, like a farm, and we picked strawberries because I live in SoCal, and so you can just go out and pick strawberries. I mean, like, you can probably do that in other parts of the country, but ours taste
You can
the
pick
best.
blackberries here.
You can pick blackberries here too, but ours were not good. Let me tell you, blackberries are better in like the north and not in the south. But the strawberries
It's good
were good.
to know.
The moral of the story is I had to curb my swearing because there was a petting zoo and there were kids out there and blah blah blah. My friends kept being like, "What?" And I'm like, "No, I'm spelling it with a Q, okay? Fuck you." And they were like, "It
Are you
doesn't
sure
matter."
there wasn't a fucking ass petting zoo?
Anyway, we're getting sidetracked. Zero. Cecil the lion. Poor old Cecil. That's where I was going with this. That's where we were going together, hand in hand, over the internet.
Yes.
So it's kind of calmed down a couple days. Like, it's been a little while, and I haven't seen Cecil the Lion posts on good old Facebook in a while. And it's just kind of funny. Has there been still a lot of hashtag all lions matter, Zero?
I haven't been on Twitter the last couple days. I've been really busy. Gishwiz started, so I'm in the greatest international scavenger hunt the world has ever seen.
Okay, while I'm proud of you for that, I'm deeply disappointed because you're supposed to be the one on Twitter most of the time, because I'm not as good at Twitter as you are, just because I just don't do it as much.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I understand that people are upset about the Cecil the Lion thing, but it personally doesn't affect me that much.
I don't think it personally affects many Americans that much, other than maybe the dentist that killed him, because now he's being hounded. You know what I mean? By all of the people that like went on his Yelp page and were like, "You're terrible, blah, blah, blah." I don't want to apologize for the dentist. I don't want to apologize or seem like I'm on his side. I'm just saying...
You don't want to be a dental apologist.
I'm just saying that he is being directly affected by this. Which I think is fair.
So I have a question for you.
What's up?
I'm gonna flip the script. Do you think his hunt was legal, or do you think he knew it was a kind of a shady hunt?
You know, I don't... Although I did some research for it, I don't know. I think he thought it was on the up and up, but I mean, I don't know exactly how much research he did. I don't think before the whole thing kind of blew up in his face, I don't think that he cared as much if it was on the up and up. Like, I don't know if he went and talked to the preserve and, like, you know, how long he was in Africa. If I go to another fucking country, I want to go talk to people and see what's going on. If I go to another country for rock climbing, which I hope to do, I'm not going to just go and just rock climb. You know, I'm going to go see, like, the village or the city, like, around the rocks and be like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Is there, like, a rock climbing community here? What's it like? Who are the people that set the routes? It takes a little bit more work, but I think that overall you get, like, a more interesting experience and you find the better routes. And I don't think that he did that. Or the equivalent of that. I don't think that he went and talked and was like, you know, what are the zoos around here like, or whatever, where, like, how are the lions living otherwise, where are the lions? He knew, he had to have known that it was right next to like this preserve. I'm sure that there are like signs and people are talking about it and blah blah blah. If you like put in Google Zimbabwe, you find out that it's right next to this big preserve that's like maybe a sixth of the country of Zimbabwe is this reserve. It's a big reserve. Maybe it's not a sixth, but it is a large reserve. Where was I going with? So I think that he was lied to, but I think that he didn't do enough of the research beforehand to know that it was that way. If you do things like this in the States, I think people are a little bit less desperate for money, and so they lie a little bit less. I don't know. I think that it's very sort of tied up in how much money you spend to do this hobby of big game hunting. I don't know. I think tangentially, or like the other conversation of, is big game hunting like a bad thing? I don't think that if it's done responsibly, it is necessarily a bad thing. But I think that in a lot of ways, it is done very, very irresponsibly. And so it's hard. Did I answer your question, Zero?
Yes, you did. You answered it enough in there.
Okay.
Well, so I get a sense that you think that he is guilty of not really caring about anything except whether or not he got to shoot something with his bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Like, he's not really
Was it a
interested
bow
in
and
the
arrow
area.
or a crossbow? I think he might have shot him with a crossbow, which is still hard to do. It might have been a bow.
I thought it was a bow and arrow. Like, I thought it was a compound bow. But,
Oh, that might be it.
like, I heard crossbow from one news site, so maybe.
They might have gotten their
I thought he
terms
was a bow and
mixed up.
arrow hunter, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They might have seen a compound bow, which looks very different from, I think, a lot of people's idea of what a bow is going to look like, and thought that, oh, this is going to be like a crossbow. It's not a crossbow.
Yeah. So you believe that he is mostly guilty of being an ignorant American who wants to shoot things with his bow, whether it be crossbow or compound.
Yes.
Like, how do you feel about that kind of... I mean, that's like, what would you call that? Exploitation tourism?
Actually, I would, and I've read a lot about that. And yeah, he exploited the situation and the scenario and was kind of crap about it.
So do you think that means he deserves to have his business destroyed? See how I led us into your topic?
Oh, you did! That's great. What a good segue, Zero. I think that he does deserve to be punished, maybe in jail or something, and so that would definitely be an issue with the dentist staying open. But I think...
That's fair.
The mob mentality of going after him is, A, it's really scary to me, and B, I think that it's not taking into account all of the things that, you know, you are doing when you close like a smallish business like this. Like all of his assistants, the other dentists that might, you know, be working with him are also now out of business. And that's kind of like, well, you're associating with this guy who's kind of a jackass, but he might be a great coworker. I don't know.
Yeah, there is the question. This is the very old Kevin Smith Star Wars question of, what about the contractors on the Death Star, right?
Oh, yeah.
This guy... Oh, good. This guy was doing a thing that... It seems like this is his thing. Like, some people go whitewater rafting. Some people do trampoline classes. This guy goes on safari and hunts big game. Pseudo-legally? I don't know that I'd call it entirely legally based on what just happened. But he did seem to try to get certain permits and stuff. So you were mentioning how politicians and people are scripted.
Yeah.
And they don't want to talk about anything too controversial because it might lose votes. And this was something that was safe, but could also be used to segue into other things and create kind of a fake empathy.
Yeah.
Like, you feel bad because Cecil died. You should feel bad about this other thing that's these heavily edited, actively misleading, lying videos that are dishonest.
Are you making allusions to the Planned Parenthood videos, Zero?
Yeah, you mentioned them before the break. That nobody heard but us.
Okay. Well, I think that, yeah, that's basically my closing thought, is that it's much easier to feel empathy and things for celebrities or for celebrities to show empathy over something like a lion or an animal or whatever, because there's less strings attached than with more politicized.
There's less risk.
Yeah, there's a lot less risk. And then people
I mean,
that do want
weirdly-
to take the risk, just it's like a hot button topic, so they can lead with that and then tie in whatever they want to talk about. Like
it's
the Planned Parenthood videos.
it's strange because it's essentially once you start talking about a human, people will say you have picked sides.
Yeah.
When you're talking about an animal, you don't. Well, this isn't even true now that I think about it, because we talk about PETA being involved in this fight,
Yeah.
and PETA picks sides for animals all the time, and so there's obviously a limit. Have you heard of being a cutarian?
I have actually. I know exactly what that is. A cutarian, or at least let me tell you what I think it is. A cutarian.
No, go for it.
A cutarian is where you care about the cute animals, but not about the ugly animals. So you are like, oh, save the panda bears. They're so cute. Blah. But then they don't care about equally as vital to ecosystems as like the snow star mole thing that is like really gross and kind of blind and blah blah blah, but actually fulfills like a really important
gross.
job in
Sorry,
blah, blah, blah.
my bad.
What?
Well, so the cutarian or uglitarian, people call them either. I was referring to specifically the people who only eat animals they consider ugly.
Oh,
As a dietary choice. Like,
I
so
didn't know
for
about
you, you wouldn't eat rabbits, but
I
you
would eat
might
rabbits.
eat like a frog.
Okay.
I don't know if you find frogs cute.
I do find some frogs cute.
Do we
And,
just like jewelry, or are we considering marriage this time?
I just like jewelry.
Yeah, remember how this came back to bite you last gay?
No! Doesn't everyone? That means that we can't lean on him earlier if we go to war. Don't do that. I don't want to get married to him. Let's not do that.
You learned your marriage lesson.
I did. Marriages
But
should
yeah,
be
so
an
people
equal
do not.
contract between
Good.
parties. Sorry, that was my marriage.
Agreed.
plug.
Let's hit it one more time without me interrupting, so it can
Okay.
be so it
Sorry,
can
I
be
said-
perfect.
Marriage should be an equal contract between partners. Yay! So that one of them doesn't have to do taxes.
Yes, there we go. Nailed it. I think you figured out the true meaning of marriage.
Yes. That's what I say when people are like, Chicory, what's the best part about being married? And I'm like, never having to do taxes ever. Anyway.
You're such a gift to your husband.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's get back to poor Cecil. Oh, here's my segue back to Cecil. Did you know that Cecil was actually named for the creator of Rhodesia?
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's Cecil Rhodes or something like that. And he was the founder of Rhodesia, which was like a white country in Africa.
Yeah.
Cecil
Dylan
was
Roof
named
had
after
flags from
Cecil
it.
Rhodes, says his wiki page, a 19th century British imperialist and diamond mining magnate, who is also the namesake for Rhodes Scholarship at Oxford University, and Rhodesia renamed Zimbabwe. So, a colonist. Which is kind of funny. Is that irony?
No.
Oh. I keep hoping someday
only-
I'll find irony. If I just mine
would
hard
perhaps-
enough, right, Zero?
Yeah, if you wish upon a bar of iron, who knows what you may find. Not to derail us into Star Talk, because that's the Neil deGrasse Tyson podcast, but do you remember what the stars are that burn iron at their core? They're so hot. I don't remember.
The big ones. I don't know. The really big ones.
There we go. Let's go.
The
Let's go
super
with the really
gargant-
big ones.
The super gargantuan, like, white stars that are, like, super hot.
Yeah, maybe.
And then they explode into the plasma and then black hole. Anyway, that's another talk for another day. Okay.
So the co-opting of Cecil to use in political causes. So once you've got people hooked by talking about your cute lion story, because everyone loves a good-looking animal,
Everybody loves
and
it's
nobody
ingrained.
right up until that animal is dubbed as useful to you. It's like how Americans will get really mad if you talk about eating dogs, but in other countries they eat lots of dogs.
Yeah. There is this weird festival. I shouldn't say weird. There is an interesting festival in Chile that I think is tragic, but it's their culture, so I don't want to, like, naysay it. It's what they do. and they eat guinea pigs.
Yes.
And so the day before the festival, or part of the first day of the festival, is they dress up all the guinea pigs in all these little cute outfits. And they're like, have little dresses on, like little guy outfits on, or like traditionally male outfits on, blah, blah. And then the next day, they cook them and eat them all.
I knew that guinea pigs were a delicacy there. I didn't know about that first part, and I'm glad you told me.
I think I'll have to find it and link to it and put it in the doobly-doo.
That link has to go in the bucket.
Okay.
If you can find pictures
I'll see
of
what I can do.
before and after shots,
I'll write it down.
guinea pig in cute outfit, guinea pig being roasted over fire.
Guinea pig festival. Chile? I think it was in Chile. It might have
What
been
do we want to
another-
do with Ixion?
Offer him money?
We're being invaded. All right. Although we're not a financial expert this time.
Ooh. But nothing more.
It's an awful lot of money. Agree or refuse?
So
I'm ready.
Zero. What is your super long spiel about mob justice?
Well, I don't know that it's going to necessarily be super long, but
Look, it's you. It's going to be super long. Now I'm prepped for it. I'm ready.
ouch.
I'm mentally geared for it.
Right in the feelings.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, so I don't think you can necessarily be descended from slavery in this country and not see mob justice and be a little bit reminded of the stories of lynch mobs,
Yeah.
which at the time felt they were perfectly justified in running these people down and hanging them and ruining their lives and their families' lives because they were really angry about things that had happened in their town. And that used to happen a lot. So mob justice is one of those things that the internet has made easier.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a certain level where if you get enough people together who have quote unquote proof of an injustice, they're going to go crazy and want to fix things the best they can. And in a similar way to that time period, our courts have not been doing the best job of fixing things in a way that seems satisfying or seems just. And I think that that's an important key, because if people felt like justice was generally being served, they are less likely to be going out and trying to take justice into their own hands. To go back to your Batman discussion, Batman fights crime because the Gotham PD is not good at it. It's corrupt. It lets criminals go. People do not get punished for what they've done. Batman's very much a character who kind of grew out of the stock market crash and of people just mishandling the country.
Mm-hmm.
And we're kind of at a similar point now where mob justice feels good because it feels like you can get something done. But say in the case of Sandra Blonde, those cops may not be punished. Like, no matter what the actual story is, she died in a jail cell, and that's the police's fault. Think of like all the police who get acquitted for shooting people in cold blood and who've been shown lying about their comrades and are not punished for lying about their comrade. And there's nothing a lot of people can do about this. And
It makes you
that's
feel really
hard
impotent.
for people. Yeah, but then this happens and someone doxes this dentist and you're like, this dentist ain't going to do anything to me. And everybody already hates him. So you run out and you're frustrated at all this other stuff. And this lion was really like a noble Mufasa looking lion. And you're like, and you're not thinking, would James Earl Jones approve of a virtual lynch mob? You're thinking, Mufasa, no! Your 96 childhood is coming back from 20 years ago. And your kids don't know why you're crying, and you have to go out and buy The Lion King right away. Oh,
Actually,
man.
I should
Do you
clarify.
think
He
Sil's
doesn't-
The Lion King spiked?
He does not actually look that much like Mufasa, because Mufasa has like a red mane, and Cecil had like a black fringe mane.
Is Cecil Scar? News at 11.
I'm sorry. Please continue with what you're saying. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I'm sure that joke was very... Remember how he talked about thinking about, like, does this need to be put in now?
I just was like, there's gonna be people that, like, will yell at me someday. Cecil doesn't look like Mufasa. Blah, blah, blah.
And the sad part is they'd only yell at you and they wouldn't yell at me at all.
Yeah, and also they wouldn't talk about the rest of the conversation. They'd just talk about how I said he looked like Mufasa.
Yeah, that's true. They would really focus on that. What do you want to do with the person who tried to poison his sister?
Imprison her?
Oh no, she breaks loose from the guards and rushes at you. You grope for a weapon and only a heavy golden ornament you throw at her. Terribly. And your guards kill her. Clean that up. You utter your one-liner. It's pretty badass. Yeah.
So mob justice
People...
is terrifying.
Mob justice happens when people don't feel like they have sufficient power, and even when things feel like they're changing around them too quickly. And people are so conflicted, and they're so tired of fighting with their family members about stuff, that here's a thing we can all unite on. This one person we don't know did a bad thing. And I probably, obviously, fundamentally disagree with that sort of rationale. That's why we do this show, though, right? Like, we are here to try to talk about these things so that maybe someone somewhere can listen to it and get some weird insight into something that they...
Where are you going with this?
You know what? If someone gets the words to tell someone something they've been thinking of, that's what we're doing. We're doing it right.
That's definitely why I read a lot of blogs and news and everything that you send me, is so that I can, when someone sends me a racist article or a transphobic article or whatever article that I disagree with, I can, I've practiced and said, well, I've thought about this and I've thought about that, and this is, here's why you're wrong, or here's why this is wrong. So
yeah, you want an informed opinion.
Yeah, I try to have one.
And that's important,
always work.
And it's difficult. And when you get into these sorts of discussions, like, what is the right way to deal with police brutality, there's no clean answer.
Yeah.
And there's no clean answer in Cecil's case, but it feels like there is, because there's one guy you can focus on. Cecil the lion dying is amusingly a systemic issue dealing with poaching.
Yeah.
But it's really easy to put two faces on it. The face of evil dentist, which, I mean, anyone who's seen The Little Shop of Horrors knows how easy it is to make an evil dentist.
Yeah, not good.
Noble lion, who totally doesn't look like Mufasa, way more like adult Simba. That's what you said, right? That was the moral of your story?
Or, I think his name is Kiva from Lion King 2.
Oh, that's more your half of the millennial generation than mine.
I watched Lion King. I actually watched Lion King 2 as an adult. Just like I watched Little Mermaid 2 as an adult. With a girlfriend. And we would just hang out and watch the movies anyway.
You were just part of that world.
Yes, exactly. But I get what you're saying. Like, it's so easy to paint this in one way, but it doesn't really even go into talking about what we were originally talking about. Is big game hunting okay? A lot of people who, do spend money on big game hunting and are avid hunters will say that, if you do it properly, a lot of the money does go back into the parks, and it is a conservative kind of thing, that it's like a fundraising thing. So yeah, like one lion dies, but if that pays for the entire year of keeping the reserve open, then like what is the trade-off there, Or if if there's like a moose or something that is like less of a big deal, not many people cry when you kill a moose because it's not endangered, but it's still a terrifying animal, then that is less of an issue to a lot of people, other than maybe PETA, because they don't want you to kill animals, although they'll kill people.
They feel about animals the way you feel about people.
Yeah. That it's not many people care about that. And so suddenly, like there's this super noble looking, majestic lion and an easy target dentist, and suddenly now everybody can jump on this bandwagon. And they don't do any of
Yeah.
the other research about, other than like how it affected this guy, but it doesn't say, well, who were the guides that were dealing with him? How does the preserve make its money? Does the preserve sometimes have big game hunts? What is it like to be on a big game hunt? One of my friends went and shot a warthog, and I have seen a picture of him standing next to a warthog with his rifle. And as far as I know, he went and did it very responsibly. Went to Africa, paid the reserve, blah blah blah, got some guides, and it is a way for Africans to choose to make money, and it can be done in a way that Africa says is okay. And is it okay for Americans to step in and say, Africans, you're wrong with like how you're using your resources? You have to do what we tell you.
There are restaurants owned by folks like Ted Turner that serve bison meat, and they talk about how bison herds have to be thinned, and there's no reason that predator can't be humans so long as you do it responsibly.
Yeah.
Are we going to lead the parade?
No. I don't think we're not good at talking or anything, are we?
Not yet. We're working on it.
Well, if we had worked on it sooner. Also, I think, have we turned down the printing press yet?
Yeah, a while ago. And the hospital.
Oh man, that always makes me the most sad.
One day we'll do medicine, Elodie.
That'll be nice. That'll be our abortion talk next time on Create Utopia.
No, because we don't play the same game twice in a row.
Okay, well, we'll talk about something else next time. Maybe police brutality.
And that's the thing. Like, this issue feels unnuanced to people. There is a clear villain that you can take out your rage on. There's a clear victim, and that makes people want to feel like the hero. That's what makes people want to be like. Somehow you feel like harassing this dentist makes you feel like Batman.
Yeah.
Do I think this guy, based on his history, I don't know that I agree with you. I think he was aware, and he was okay with a certain level of shady hunting going on if his trophy was sufficient.
Yeah.
Based on, like, the bear incident you talked about, that people should really look into. Do I think that means his business needs to be hounded till it's shut down and his family threatened? Probably not. I don't know if what he did was evil in the strictest sense so much as just stupid and pointless.
I think it was stupid
but
and
people
pointless.
collect trophies for all sorts of stuff.
I would definitely agree with you that I think that it is stupid and pointless, and I don't want to say cowardly, but I just think that you could do a lot of other things to take that, I don't even want to say urge to like hunt things, overpower things maybe.
Well, and that's the problem, is that, again, humans are not very good at seeing the long view. And I don't know that method would be any better with seeing the long view. But like I said, our government currently is really bad at seeing the long view. So I don't necessarily support giving more money to this current government. But at the same time, if you're going to tell me that people who have a lot of money are going to, like, trickle down and reinvest that money, I'm going to be, yeah, hunting lions in Africa. Because there's no way, I mean, this is a business. Like, the people in Zimbabwe who were giving these tours did not spring up overnight for this guy. Like, this is a thing that happens consistently. Since Teddy Roosevelt, safari has been a thing. I don't feel the need to subsidize his hunting trips by giving him lower taxes. Do I think our government would spend those taxes well? No, they can't even pass an infrastructure bill. So it's rocking a hard place, right? Our government can't decide it wants to commit to fixing our roads. So, like, I agree, you probably shouldn't be raising taxes. But if you don't raise taxes, these people instead are spending the money that could go to fixing our roads in Africa, paying illegal travel guides who lure famous lions to places where people can shoot them with bows. This is a lose-lose situation in a lot of ways. So I guess what I'd really like to wish for is a competently run government.
So you may have noticed, or hi, it's me again. So you may have noticed wah wah 2 or 3 times in the show now. That was our break to try and record responsibly. You may have also noticed huge jumps in conversation. This is because, once again, my recording has failed and dropped off about half of our wonderful show. So I just wanted to say thank you for your continued understanding and patience with these difficulties. Um, for now, talk with us on Twitter. I am 123 Chicory.
I'm at Zero Utopia.
So thanks for listening. Bye.
Yep, bye.